We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about itty bitty podcasts. Podcasts.
Merry Mini Monday Chunkies. How merry is that? It's a Mini Monday, 0 calories.
Full chunk.
Drink it up.
Full chunk, 0 calories. I'm Carter.
I'm Doge.
I'm Jordan.
Guys, on our very first episode of Mini Mondays, we introduced the world to box office ball.
Yes.
And I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
We feel good about our teams. That's something that we'll start checking in on more, except that none of our
there's no
team's
changes
movies
yet.
have come out just yet.
Carter, you have one coming out this weekend, correct?
Replicas
Yeah.
comes out.
You're literally going to rake in
last weekend.
dozens of dollars.
Dozens of dollars. It's got a cold, rotten review already.
Yeah.
Does it really?
I think it's sitting at a 5.1
That
right
doesn't
now.
stop
Yeah.
Keanu money often.
I have a
Anyways.
theory about Keanu Reeves.
Tell me.
And that theory is that, and I think it's true because I think a lot of people do this, but my theory is that Keanu takes anything to bankroll the things he actually cares about.
That's that Nick Cage model.
No, let's
Nick does everything.
Yeah, let's not draw that comparison.
Nick
because
says, "Ooh, this hoverboard was expensive. I better make another movie to help pay for that.
I think Keanu
Finish
Reeves,
paying for that."
Keanu Reeves is the scientist who goes and like teaches elementary school classrooms so that he can fund his big project. I think Nick Cage is the volatile chemical that the scientist has to just find the right thing to put him in.
That was great.
Yeah,
It's
that was
gonna
off
take me
the
a while
cuff,
to
too.
meditate on that.
I was off the
Cool.
cuff.
That was
too.
an
We'll
amazing
probably
analogy.
in the episode now. Then
And
I
I
think
have
that's
no
it.
co-
We're
I
gonna
have
have
no
a
cuffs,
Wednesday
so-
episode that unpacks all of
It
Jordan's
says,
analogies.
what did Jordan say Wednesday?
What did Jordan say Wednesday? So box office ball is something we're going to check in on throughout the year.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
that's the point.
Yep.
But we're going to introduce some new bits today.
Are we?
All right.
Okay, Doge
New
and I know
toys.
nothing about this.
New
This
pieces
is
to play
perfect.
with.
Every Monday, every Mini Monday, I'd love to share famous stars that were born on this day.
Okay.
Okay.
This segment is called A Star Was Born. What I've decided to do, I wanted to, you know what? Two Chunks tries to mix
Starring
things
Lady
up.
Yaya.
Lady Yao Ya. Yao Ya.
Yaya.
We try and mix things up a little bit. And I want to do something different. I don't just want to tell you who was born on this day. I want to give you clues.
Oh.
I want you to guess based off of my clues.
George Clooney.
A star was born.
Point
Carter's
Jordan.
clues.
No.
Okay, I win.
I've got little bits here, but January 14th on
Okay.
this day,
All right.
a star was born. Ladies loved him as soon as he was born in 1968. You can still find him
Still
killing
George Clooney.
sharks on any given Sunday. Who is this? Who turned 50 today? Ladies loved him as soon as he was born in 1968. You can still find him killing sharks on any given Sunday. Who do we got, guys?
These are actors and
Actors,
actresses?
only movie stuff.
He's
I mean,
turning- he's turning-
they could have dove into other things.
Did you
right?
come up with this
I'm writing. I wrote it.
this hint?
This is a
Yeah.
good one.
This is good.
Yeah.
He's also turning 51. Just point of order. It's 2019.
It is 2019.
2000.
All my years are one off.
Whoa.
That's a
2019
thing-
years
that's
of
a
our
thing
Lord.
that I do. That's a thing that I do.
Whoa, that's
he's
so weird.
He's turning 51.
Killing
today.
sharks on any given Sunday. I'm sticking with George Clooney. I'm just following my heart on this one.
Okay, that's fine.
See, I was thinking like, I'm trying to go like,
And y'all haven't quite figured out my
Yeah.
clue style yet.
Right,
Yeah,
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 I'm trying
It's
to
yeah.
get
fine,
there.
but this is
this
great.
is like when Steve just got blue, and he's
Yeah.
still trying to know like, what is she
What's-
leaving
how's
clues
the
on?
clues?
Where am I going?
What
How
is
many
a
they're going to
skitty?
be?
Imagine
Yeah.
that first night when
Yeah.
Blue's like, and Steve's like, what are you? What
Did
have
she
I
cry
done?
all night long like other puppies? She's like,
She's just like,
so very young.
so killing sharks any given Sunday.
killing sharks any given Sunday.
Henry Winkler.
No.
interesting.
And your guess was George Clooney?
Yep, I'm sticking with it.
Also, no. I'm talking about LL Cool J. Let me
What?
break. No, listen
Whoa.
to me. Let me break it down. So he's been in movies. So Deep Blue Sea was his killing shark movie.
Okay.
He played a character
Okay.
called Preacher. Wait, guy, he was in Any Given Sunday
Okay.
with Al Pacino. But the biggest hint might have been Ladies Loved Him. So LL Cool
Okay,
J
yes.
stands for
Yeah.
Ladies Love.
Yeah.
Cool James. Hefty 50 first birthday.
Hafty Fafty.
Hefty 50
Hefty
51st
Fafty.
birthday. I've got a couple more for you guys. I'm going to
Yeah.
try and do 3 every time.
Let's do
Take
it.
me there.
This foxy gentleman was born on this day in 1969, turning 50 today. A man of many professions, you may find him selling bananas in the mountains of Missouri.
Okay, well, that one is Jason Bateman.
A ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman turns 50 today. Love me some Jason Bateman.
Yes.
Yeah. That'd be a Arrested
he's
Development
only
and an
50?
Ozark pool, right?
Not that he looks old, but
Right?
it
I
feels
don't
like
know.
I've never lived in a world where he wasn't in his mid-40s.
Right, but this was one of the this was one of the first times that I saw like a star's age and was like, that's about right.
Interesting.
I think it
Yeah.
hit the nose for me.
I
Yeah.
love Jason Bateman.
Zootopia, one of his recent big hits.
Yep.
Ozark is doing really well.
Yep.
That was the Foxy Gentleman hint, and then of course selling the bananas.
There's
as we
always
all
money
know.
in
Yeah,
the
there's
banana
always money in
stand.
the
There's
banana
always
stand.
money in the banana
Yeah.
stand. Last but certainly not least, though he might not always come away with a win or his hand, this predator punching legend has been fighting since 1948, turned 71 today. Though he might not always come away with a win or his hand, this predator punching legend has been fighting since 1948, 71 years old.
Danny Glover.
Very close, but no. Doge?
Was Carl Weathers in?
My man,
Punisher?
Carl
Yeah,
Weathers.
okay,
Happy
yeah.
71st birthday. He lost his hand as Chubbs in Happy Gilmore.
Oh, my goodness.
Alligator bit his hand off.
Wait,
That's
Danny
why-
Glover was in one of the Predators, wasn't he?
He might have been, dude. I think he was in the
I think
second
so.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was in the second one. And then he didn't always get the win. Funny thing about Carl Weathers, in some of his biggest stuff, he loses.
Mhm.
Like Apollo Creed,
Oh, yeah, but so good, though.
but so good. He loses that, loses his hand, doesn't really make it on Happy Gilmore. And then in Predator, he does get chomped. But it's a cool chomping.
It is
Predator's one of my
very cool
favorite
chomping.
of that genre kind
it was
of.
the
We
first
should do
rated R
a-
movie I ever saw.
Really?
Yep.
We should do a series, like a TNT afternoon series, where it's like all of those,
Everything
like,
your dad would stop and watch in
Exactly.
between mowing the lawn
Oh.
and getting iced tea.
exactly that.
100%. I love that idea. Another thing I want to introduce today. So, one of our goals in life is to be Rotten Tomatoes critics. And
Yes.
Yeah.
for us to be able to do that, it helps for people to review our podcast. And
Sure.
we're heading at a good trajectory. It's probably going to happen by the end of 2019.
Yeah.
But something that happens too, I think when people hear the word critic, you can't help but think that these are like locked up in their libraries, nose pushed, like,
In that ivory tower.
yeah,
Sure.
dude,
Yeah.
just like really critiquing, right? That's what a critic does. But a lot of times there's really good things that critics do. I think probably the first thing I look at on Rotten Tomatoes is what the critics say, and then I look at what the audience says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these are people that a lot of them, that might be a full-time job for them. Anyways, I'm calling this segment the Cranky Critic.
Okay.
What I want us to do is critique the Cranky Critic.
Okay.
Because there's also these movies that come out and you're like, are you just doing this to make it not 100% or not 99%? Our first review comes from a man who only goes by the name of Richard Brody. He thought that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was rotten.
I will say I have
Whoa.
not seen this yet.
I haven't either.
Okay.
What I
Whoa.
do know is that it won a Golden Globe,
I have seen it, and it
And-
deserved that Golden Globe.
and it's probably going to win the Oscar.
Sure. Yeah.
Best
For
animated
best
picture
anima-
is like a lock for that film.
And again, I'm fine too if there's a critic that says things along the lines of, good movie, but not for me, or
Yeah.
things like that. But
Yeah.
what is the point of this? So, are you ready? I feel like I have to read it in this
Yeah.
snarky way. Here is his review, just a snippet of it. The phantasmagorical power of CGI is amped up and dulled down in this animated extension of the Marvel franchise. While drawing graffiti in an underground tunnel, a Brooklyn middle schooler named Miles Morales is bitten by an exotic spider. Overall, he just says, this thing is over the top and it's just not worth watching.
That's bizarre to me. It feels
Right?
like he doesn't understand what the movie is.
But who says phantasmagorical? This
Yeah,
guy is a
that's-
critic for the New Yorker. Okay?
Okay.
And so maybe this is the kind of people that read, I don't know, but he's like one of the main editors for the movie reviewing stuff. And so I kind of did a deep dive and went looking. And so Green Book, also a pretty decorated film at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
He thought that was rotten.
Vigo.
And he said, humor, and it's ... keeps the movie flowing weightlessly above the appalling bedrock of its ponderous assumptions.
What?
That's really annoying. I feel like reviewing movies, and it goes for us too, even at our like amateur level.
Right.
But like, I feel like it requires a certain level of audacity and pretension to even be like, I think we can all agree that like there's a certain within us, a level of being pretentious and a level of audaciousness where we go, yeah, I want to review this thing. But I feel like the difference is a self-awareness of understanding that it's like, yeah, I'm a little pretentious with my taste sometimes. I get that about myself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that fine, like the splitting hair of like disagree versus disapprove. You know what I mean? Like if somebody says this is a great movie, I can disagree, but I'm not going to disapprove them for liking that movie.
Right.
Another 2018 release, 8th Grade.
Oh,
99%.
That movie was awesome.
Yeah.
Burnham smothers the story in sentiment, stereotypes, and good intentions.
That is literally the point of that movie.
Yeah.
Rotten, 99%. How
What
about
the heck?
another 2018 release, Incredibles 2?
Haven't seen it. Not interested.
Pretty good.
It's really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
94% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I should have said before. Green Book was 81% certified fresh, 99% 8th Grade certified fresh, 94% certified fresh. Incredibles 2. It's a nostalgic vision of total power of a local minimum that echoes sickeningly with the nostalgic pathologies of current day. Nowhere more than in Wynn's enthusiastic declaration of his plan to make superheroes legal again. Like, what is that? That's so over the top. You are only writing critiques for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To look back and be like,
I did a good job.
I'm
10
so
for 10 on
smart.
that word usage.
Yeah. Who's it for? That's the good question here.
Who is it for?
Who's it for?
Last but not least, 84% certified fresh, Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, step to me.
The insubstantiality of the film isn't due to the infinite yet flimsy malleability of CGI gimmicky, but instead to the dispersion of its drama throughout the many cinematic installations set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's so annoying.
He's done enough big words. Halfway through, I don't know what he's talking about.
I do.
feels
So
like-
every year around the Oscars, I do a list. I rank every movie I saw in the year prior. It's just really just for me. It's just a fun thing to do. I like lists like that. But I don't remember the last time that a superhero movie broke my top 5, and rarely do they break my top 10.
Right.
Avengers Infinity War is in my top 5 from last year because to me, it was not just an awesome superhero. It was that good of a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't think this guy,
I
you know what?
wonder-
I don't think this guy and I would get along.
He feels like the kind of guy who's like, I just wish more movies were like 12 Angry Men
Yeah.
or Citizen Kane. He's like,
Right.
that's when movies were good.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
Some
that's
of
not what they are anymore.
Like the
some of
kid in
the-
middle school who's like, man, Def Leppard was the only good band.
Yes. He's like an expert on what he claims like 3 directors. One of them's Wes Anderson. And then the other 2 are just French directors of films
Yeah.
only in French.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I love Wes Anderson, but loving Wes Anderson often is a sign of pretension. And I'm
Right.
okay with it. But like, yeah.
The ultimate win here, though, is that Mr. Brody's critique had nothing to do with the success of those films.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's those weird things that happen to where they were like, are these people implanted to make, because people will like based off of reviews go see a movie.
Yeah.
And so there's always like the fight between like, I don't know if it was like Sony and Marvel or Marvel and DC, but there was something where people were like saying, no, dude, they're just putting all these people giving bad reviews to DC movies just so you don't go see
Yeah.
it.
A lot of Snyder heads were claiming
But
that.
they're not good.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, that's our
Justified.
cranky critic for the day.
Jeez.
Man, that makes
I
me
hate-
that
I
makes
hate
me
this segment.
cranky.
This
Total
segment
down.
makes me very angry.
Yeah, it makes me very angry too. Let's be a little happier. So just to create an aside and get past Mr. Brody,
Ugh.
Ugh.
who again, this is also a plea to Rotten Tomatoes. Like Rotten Tomatoes, please select us. We're going to be more thoughtful.
We've
for
needed
this.
a villain for our show for a while, though.
Is it Brody?
I think Mr. Brody is our villain.
Oh my gosh. I have
love
purpose
that.
again.
I love that. We have a villain now.
show villain. So let's take a detour in a segment I'd like to call "What You Streaming." You can imagine if like my chin is like on my
And your hands are
Hands
sticky
and
from
just, like, sticky.
candy,
Like,
and
what
you
you
left
stri- I got, like,
fingerprints all over
candy
my
on my
iPad.
face.
I'm
little
freaking
bit.
wearing one of those beanies with the propeller on it.
So even though we love movies, we can't guarantee that we're watching a movie a week outside of what we're having to watch
Sure.
for the podcast.
Sure.
But on what you stream, and I'd like to know, I mean, specifically, are you streaming something right now? What are you interested in? What are you Googling? What are you searching? What's going on?
Yeah. At this point in the year is usually when I try and consume as many Oscar movies as possible so that I can be informed when the awards roll around.
Same.
Sure.
I'm
Not like
also-
Mr. Brody.
Right. I'm also rewatching season 1 of True Detective right now because True Detective
Yeah. Right.
still holds up. Don't worry about
Yeah, it still holds up.
it. But about a week ago today, I watched a movie called Hereditary,
Uh-huh.
and it was
Very scary, yeah?
here's the thing.
Oh.
It was pretty scary. And the first 3/4 of the movie, I was like, sold. It was drama heavy, very
cool.
intense. Like not
Yeah.
for this movie is not for the faint of
No,
heart.
The
It is.
previews were aggressive.
It's the movie's aggressive.
Yeah.
Like it is not. I don't say this lightly. It does not shy away from anything, so it's very intense.
yeah.
The last quarter of the movie completely lost me.
Oh.
I know.
I feel like that's a thing with those kind of horror thrillers.
Yeah,
Like
I
there's
thought that
there's always
initially,
that danger of like you have this one turn and it all falls apart.
If it had stayed about what it was about at the beginning, I think it could have ended really strong. But it tried to go off the rails and ended up just careening off a cliff.
Would you say it's like a 10 Cloverfield Lane situation where it's like the movie that you've been selling me this whole time is awesome, and then there's this weird thing.
Yeah, but with 10 Cloverfield Lane, it was short enough to where I can just pretend it didn't happen because it's
Yeah.
only really the last
The
30
last, like,
seconds
10
or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this movie, it was about the last half hour that
Man,
I was
that's
just
a
like,
bummer.
oh man, come
That's a bummer.
on.
What would you rate it out of 5 stars?
Probably a 3. There were some pretty great performances that are saving it
I
from
think
being
horror
lower.
is having a resurgence right now.
Absolutely, it
Of
is.
like legitimate doing very well. And Jordan Peele is at the head.
I really
sure
think
is.
Get Out was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And it last year
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
great.
It was.
And I think part 2 is going to be just as good.
I've got
Okay.
some similar streaming right now, and a lot of it too is just researching. I wanted to see who won Golden Globes. Well, if we're gonna say literal streaming, Gilmore Girls, I think that happens
Yeah.
a handful of times every year, which I'm totally cool with.
Sure.
Because I think the script is fun to just
You don't have
catch
to
certain
justify
things
your
up.
Gilmore love for
Yeah,
me.
man.
I'm
Okay,
fine.
good, great. As I was looking at this stuff, I kind of went on a deep dive with some young and younger actors and actresses that I feel like within the next 3 to 5 years will win Oscars. There's just something about sometimes you see these people and they've got that vibe. That's why DiCaprio was such an anomaly, because it was like, why has it been so like, why is he not winning anything?
Right,
Unfortunately, he's competing against career defining people every year.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought of 3. So my first one's Timothy Chalamet. And
Yeah.
we did this thing that we're cutting out of the podcast because the 3 of us were like, wait, no, did he win? Because he did a really good job in Call Me by Your Name, and
Mhm.
he was in I think it's The Beautiful Boy or A Beautiful Boy,
Beautiful
with
Boy,
Steve
yeah.
Carell. He just ends
yeah.
up playing these really heavy for such a young guy, but he
Yeah.
feels so super talented. He seems like a really genuine person. Saoirse Ronan, I think, is going to win an Oscar.
Saoirse.
Saoirse Ronan, I think, is going to win an Oscar within the next 5 years.
1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that she's been nominated 3 times?
Yeah.
She
She's
was
amazing.
nominated for Atonement, Brooklyn, and Lady Bird.
Atonement is an awesome movie.
You know who's been
Mhm.
nominated 5 times and hasn't won that I'm almost certain within the next 5 years is going to win one?
Tell me.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams has never won anything?
has
never won?
not won an Oscar. She got a nominee for Junebug, Doubt, The Fighter, The Master, and American Hustle. She's never won.
I think she gets a bad rap because of a couple roles that she's taken.
mean,
she is
yeah.
unbelievable.
She's
Like,
great.
she is
Arrival
such
one
a
of my
fa-
favorite science
I think with
fiction
the-
movies of all time.
Arrival's potentially my number 1 movie.
So good.
I was just about to say that about Arrival. Yeah.
But what you streaming, Doge?
Streaming, the wife and I are going through Handmaid's Tale right now. We both read the book over the summer and
exhausting.
really loved it. It's speaking of things that are heavy, it is heavy and
It's so
intense.
heavy.
The way you just said the wife, you're like a youth pastor to me
Yeah,
now.
the
You
wife-
just became a youth
My
pastor.
smoking hot wife in the back and I
Yeah.
are going through Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's
it's
so
rough.
nice.
I'm gonna
It's-
throw up through my
It's
pop
rough.
filter.
It is incredibly intense in graphics.
Yes.
So unless you're ready to buckle in that seatbelt, I would say don't watch this one.
Right.
That,
we had to
that show
take-
is a lot.
Yeah,
We
it
had
really
to take
is.
breaks. Chelsea and I went. We were
It's
caught
taken us
up on
forever
both
to go
of
through
the
it.
first
so
seasons. Yeah.
We're having to take it
Did
in like
either of
chunks
you
at a
watch it
time.
week to week?
No.
It was torture.
We did watch it week to week for the new season.
Yeah, okay.
And then season 3 will be coming out
This summer,
this
right?
Summer.
Yeah.
So
So that's what we're streaming right now. As far as movies go, obviously watched a Twilight flick this week. I don't know. I think the last movie that I watched before that wasn't for the podcast was Christopher Robin, which is kind of a left field choice for me. My mom got me that for Christmas.
Oh.
And I think that movie is specifically designed to make me cry.
Is the song Return to Pooh Corner in that movie?
It is not. And I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. That is one of my only dumps about that movie. But it's pretty good. If you are like me and you grew up on those stories and that's a huge part of your kind of literary foundation, definitely watch it because you will cry lots of tears.
On a similar theme with like Oscar type stuff, it really is. It wasn't until like last year and maybe the year before with things like Black Panther and Deadpool that this time of year had good movies to see.
Yeah.
And so that we're starting to see maybe summer will always be blockbuster time.
Sure.
But we're moving to like Captain Marvel will be in March. Things like that are happening. But I'll tell you, there's really only one movie that might be interesting to anybody this coming weekend. So in looking ahead to this weekend, Glass comes out. We kind of have mentioned that with Box Office Ball. Some players, McAvoy for Doge and then Samuel L. Jackson are in that. We're about to make some money.
It's pronounced Macklemore.
No. See.
Macklemoroni.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But that doesn't come out this weekend.
McAvoy, he's the one who does the like, I'm going to pop some tags.
He's in that movie?
Yeah.
Was he also Professor X?
Nope.
Who was that?
What?
Cool, guys. So Glass comes out this weekend.
M. Night Shyamalan is going to have to do a little bit more before I go see any of his movies in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I mean, just because McAvoy's on my team, I'm really interested in this. I have not seen, what is it? Unbroken or
Unbreakable.
Split.
Split is awesome.
Split.
Split's a cool movie.
I kind of want to watch
Split was cool. I haven't
those.
seen it.
I kind of want to.
Unbreakable's good.
This is one of those things where it's like, another like kind of superhero-ish shared universe. I want to dip my toes in this and see what I like about it. So we'll see.
We'll see. To end our mini Monday, just real quick, I'd love us to sign off by giving our names and then one word descriptions of Mr. Brody. Try and make it fancy because he likes fancy words.
I got it. I'm Jordan. Cantankerous.
Ooh.
I'm Doge. Curmudgeonly.
Ooh. And I'm Carter, and I think I'm going to make one up because I think that would really make him mad.
Yeah.
Sorry, is this your word?
Yeah.
So it's lots of hyphens.
No.
It's happening. It's happening. And the last hyphen, and then Jerk Turdimus.
Oh. Wait, no, that's a real thing. He was a gladiator.
My name is Decimus Meridius Jerk Turdimus. Critic of good movies.